It is notable, Olivia Mauk is wearing the white libero jersey for Nebraska today. Lainey Choboy matching the rest of her teammates in the black uniforms. Indiana will have first serve with Teodor Krichkovich. 17 versus 1. A top-tier Big Ten battle here at Wilkinson Hall, and away we go. Alex starts it out on a good note for Nebraska.
Yeah, and it's going to be important, especially in this first set, to get to a hot start. You don't want to find yourself in a deficit early on. As Steve Aerts said earlier before the game, we want to throw the first punch. We want to throw the first right hook.
Quick to the middle, Sell blocked, it's out of bounds, and we're tied. Take a look at one of the best freshmen in the country serving right now for Indiana in Jaden Jaeger. A superstar on the pins for the Hoosiers as Adriano, and the overpass, Adriano powers it, but right into the block of Maddie Sell, and it will be an Indiana score.
Yeah, Maddie Sell just holding down the middle. Great position, timed the jump perfectly. And Maddie Sell off a career game in blocks against Rutgers, already off to a hot start tonight.
Mauk bump set to Murray. Into the net, Indiana's up 3-1.
It's important for Indiana not to get ahead of yourself, right? You're up 3-1. It's a long way to go. You just want to keep stacking on this momentum, continue to build on each point, each possession.
3 straight for Indiana. Jaeger, the serve into the net, ends the run, side out for Nebraska.
Service errors, those will come to bite you. You cannot give Nebraska anything for free.
Now, Virginia Adriano will serve for Nebraska, the freshman from Italy, and has had some trouble serving in the leading up in the year, but last match against Iowa, a couple of aces, and felt really comfortable from that service line as the cross-court swing from Alonzo Cortez is out. We're tied at 3.
Yeah, you see right here, Cortez trying to go cross-court, place it in no man's land, but just a little too much velocity as it bleeds over the sideline.
Adriano into the net for a Nebraska service error. First subs coming in for Indiana. In the middle, it's Victoria Gray, a freshman. Really interesting story. Didn't really take volleyball seriously until her senior year of high school. Dual sport athlete in the state of Michigan. Basketball, volleyball, all state in both. As Hannah Leffridge will serve into the net.
Yeah, Victoria Gray, one of many freshman standouts for Indiana. You mentioned her career playing high school basketball, a finalist for Miss Basketball and for volleyball in high school. Well-rounded athlete.
Krichkovich to the near post for Tatum. Tipped by a Husker, close to the net, Riley. To Landfair on the tap. Kept up by Indiana somehow. Free ball for the Huskers. Landfair. There's Audrey Jackson on the dig. Alonzo Cortez. Diving dig by Murray. Krichkovich to the far post. Alonzo Cortez ends the rally and brings the juice to Wilkinson Hall.
Yeah, Krichkovich set up Cortez beautifully right by the net. Perfect angle for that right arm to come swinging down. And the goal, if you're a setter, you want to place it as close to the net as you can for your outside hitters to see the back of the net.
Jessica Smith, the transfer from UCLA beach player, overpass joust at the net. And it's another point for Indiana. Charlie, getting off to a start like this, as Indiana has to give you some pretty good confidence in a matchup like this.
It almost calms your nerves down if you're this Indiana team, understanding we know how to score points early on. We don't have to struggle right after the first set.
Andy Jackson on the slide.
And there's Andy Jackson, the best hitting percentage in the nation. And she has so much whip with that right hand.
Krichkovich to the far post for Alonso Cortheas. Awkward hit, but it works. Alonso Cortheas, another kill.
Yeah, and it's going to be important for Cortheas to get going early on, just to boost her confidence, get her activated in the early going.
Alec on the slide, that is wide left, and Indiana's up 3. Some miscues on the hitting end for Nebraska thus far.
They're just a little amped up, just getting their bearings, still getting situated, still a long way to go in this first set.
Overpass. Victoria Gray capitalizes. Bergen Riley was there, but the deflection went out of bounds. Another Indiana score, and the Hoosiers are up by their biggest margin so far.
And Victoria Gray, she's able to angle that off of the palm of the Nebraska middle blocker, and away it goes out of bounds.
Landfair on the near post, dugout. Krichkovich to Jaeger. Out of the back row, Harper Murray. Misses off the line.
And Murray wants a review. She felt like that was in play. But nonetheless, Indiana, a hot start.
Danny Busboom Kelly has challenged the out call on the swing from Harper Murray. As it stands right now, Indiana leads 10-5.
And if you want to compete against a team like Nebraska, who is, it seemed like they've swept their way through the Big Ten, you need to go on a hot start. You can't come from behind against the Cornhuskers.
Looks right on the line.
Did it deflect an Indiana middle blocker? You see the Nebraska huddle, all smiles. It's important for a number 1 team to play loose, play free.
Now, Coach Busboom Kelly was saying earlier in the week leading up to this match that it may take some time to get adjusted to Indiana's pace. The Hoosiers are one of the fastest teams in the country in terms of their attack. And Nebraska is not necessarily used to seeing that fast of an attack. So Coach Busboom Kelly made it clear it may take some time, but once Nebraska starts to figure things out, then they can work on their machine-like prominence.
She did mention how there might be an adjustment period early in the first set. Like you said, Ian, she understands. She's not downplaying Indiana by any means. One of the best paces in the Big Ten. She says she's given a lot of credit to Teodora Krichkovich, the freshman setter for Indiana, saying she does a great job of setting up Indiana's offense. They need to hone in on Krichkovich, put her in positions where she has to make tough passes.
Indiana came into this game, or this match I should say, with a strategy as we await the ruling. The strategy was to make Bergen Riley move, and they've done that so far. There you hear the Husker faithful here in Bloomington. The call's reversed. Point Nebraska, kill for Harper Murray. And it's now 9-6 Indiana.
And so Harper Murray's intuition was correct. Just grazes the white line by a margin of inches, and that's a much needed Nebraska point.
Bergen Riley will serve. Big Ten setter of the year in her first 2 years in the conference. Krichkovich finds Jaeger on the push. Malk bump set to Adriano. Powers it down to the floor.
Yeah, she did a good job of finding daylight with that swing. She saw the defenders loaded up on the right side of the net, so she places it off to the left, able to find a crease of space. Good execution from the freshman.
Alonso Cortheas, deflection at the net, Nebraska controls. Adriano again, popped up sky high, and that'll float out of play.
And Adriano, she's come on very strong. She said earlier this week that she's just felt so much more comfortable as the season's gone by. The adjustment period coming from Italy to a place like Nebraska, it takes time to get situated, and she's just gotten so much more comfortable this season.
Alec and Adriano at the net deny Jaden Jaeger. And we're knotted up at 9.
Yeah, after that first timeout, Nebraska does seem more adjusted now.
Indiana trying to stop this Nebraska run. Alonzo Cortheas out of the back row, controlled by the Huskers. Free ball for Indiana. Krichkovich to Jaeger on the push. Murray controls. Riley to Murray. Alonzo Cortheas keeps it alive. Nice save by Krichkovich near the antenna. It's still in play. Jaeger gives Indiana the lead.
And what a rally, just a back and forth affair. Both teams feeling each other out. And then it's the freshman who finds the gap.
Serving now is Avery Freeman, a Bloomington native. First Bloomington native to play for Indiana since 2007. Landfair sneaks it inside. Hugging that back line, Taylor Landfair finds the floor.
Yeah, and that time, Indiana's defense a little out of position. Landfair, I mean, she's a six-year senior. She knows where to place the ball. Good execution. Now she's back to serve.
Overpass. Recovered by Indiana. Krichkovich to Jaeger. Blocked and down. Front line of Nebraska starting to pick up some steam.
Yes, indeed. They now have a slight edge.
11-10 Cornhuskers. Landfair into the net, knotted up at 11. Neither team hitting particularly well. Nebraska hitting 111 thus far, Indiana 118. Both teams with 2 service errors. Here's the freshman setter, Krichkovich. Float serve near the net. And a free ball for Indiana. Tatum kept up by Adriano. Riley will set up Murray, who tools the block for a Nebraska score.
And Harper Murray, she was able to angle that swing, gets the deflection, and kind of positions the volleyball towards the out of bounds line.
Olivia Mauk serving, the sophomore from Bennington, Nebraska, wearing the libero jersey today for the Huskers. Far post for Jaeger, denied again. Adriano's been all over the place.
I mean, she's 6'5". She takes up a lot of space vertically, and that one hits off her forearm. She didn't even have to reach all the way up.
Indiana was hitting .333 to start this set. Now down to .053. Close to the net, Krichkovich as Sells denied at the net. Far post for Jaeger. Push shot kept up by Riley. Adriano again. She has been unstoppable.
Yes, she has. It's her 3rd kill in this first set. And she's going to have a bright future with Nebraska. Just scratching the surface for what she can do.
3 kills, 3 blocks for the freshman from Italy. Push shot from Alonzo Cortheas. Jackson in the middle. Quick hitter to one of the best middle in the country in Andy Jackson. 15-11, Nebraska leads here in the first set on Big Ten Plus. Welcome back to Wilkinson Hall, where Nebraska leads 15-11. This is the #1 ranked team in the country, 27-0, 54 of the last 55 sets won, and it's all the history for Nebraska.
There it is, right there. They're a generational program, one of the best branded sports programs in the country. Searching for that first national championship since 2017, and Ian, this year's roster has the ability to do it. They've said they want to win out. That's their goal. They take it one game at a time, but they're trying to win out the rest of the way for an undefeated season.
Mauk resumes play with a serve. Back set for Tatum. Avery Tatum's on the board for Indiana.
Yeah, and this is a big part of the first set. You don't want to allow Nebraska to continue on another run. Indiana needs to kind of weather the storm here if they want a chance to this first set. It's kind of a race to 20.
Much needed side out for Indiana as Jaeger sends it away. Bump set from Mauk. Harper Murray finds the floor.
Yeah, and that time Harper Murray going for high hands. Didn't put a ton of steam on it, just kind of rolls over the fingers of Indiana's middle blockers. Well executed kill by Harper Murray.
4 is the biggest Nebraska lead of the night. Adriano. Krichkovich to Alonzo Cortheas. Mauk digs it out. Back set for Andy Jackson, who misses strong over the back line. Point Indiana.
Yeah, and that time Andy Jackson had to range quite a ways to her right. Forced into a tough position. And then ends up running on her out of play.
Here's Hannah Leffridge, a freshman from DeSoto, Missouri. And another service error.
And service errors are the one thing you cannot do if you want a chance to beat Nebraska.
Alonzo Cortheas stuffed once more. Jackson was there, Riley was there.
Yep.
And it's the biggest lead for the Huskers so far.
Bergen Riley and Andy Jackson, a couple of Big Ten first teamers. They take up a lot of space.
Murray floats it out, side out Indiana.
That was good awareness by Jaden Jagger, holding down the back line, understanding the flight of that ball, knowing it was headed towards the out of bounds mark. And it keeps it at a 4-point deficit for now.
Here's Jessica Smith, graduate student, one of 4 seniors being honored tonight. Senior night for Indiana. Close to the net, Riley, quick play to Jackson. That was crafty.
Yes, it was. Great maneuver by Nebraska. And Andy Jackson saw a piece of hardwood, nobody occupied it, and she drilled it for the kill.
Free ball for Nebraska. Harper Murray.
Yeah, that time Harper Murray, she just comes flying in from the back row. And every time Nebraska has a free ball, they will execute.
Indiana calls timeout with Nebraska leading 20-14. 20 is the big number, Charlie. Yeah. Nebraska 77-0 in sets this year when they reach 21st.
And that's just unbelievable. I mean, that's more than dominant. That's just a machine that doesn't mess up. You see the number right there. They're in the red zone. And now Indiana, with just 5 points to allow, they're in a tough spot in the blink of an eye.
We were talking to head coach Steve Aird for Indiana yesterday. He said what Indiana needs to do is stay close. They can get to 20-all, 22-all, maybe see if Nebraska makes a mistake, which doesn't happen often, but try to capitalize on that. Indiana started this first set well. Nebraska took its time to get adjusted to the pace, and really it's been all Huskers since.
Yeah, Nebraska, they were able to reset in that official review timeout period. The Hoosiers then had to call a timeout, and now Nebraska, they look adjusted to this Indiana the fast-paced offense Indiana has. And now up 6. It's going to be awfully tough for the Hoosiers to fight back in this first set. They're going to have to pull out.
Look at those numbers. That is impressive.
My goodness.
Now, when Nebraska lost that 46 consecutive set streak, Bergen Riley was asked about it and said it was probably better that happened than if they continue to win and sweep every game. Because Riley said they learn a lot more from losing a set than sweeping every set.
It probably was a sense of relief because they were asked the question every game was, how have you guys continued this streak of not losing a set? It almost takes the monkey off your back a little bit and allows you to relax having that streak broken.
Gray on the slide. Nebraska controls Landfair. Krichkovich goes to the far post for Alonzo Cortheas. Third kill of the night for Candela Alonso Cortez, the primary option for Indiana.
And she's going to have the work cut out for her, holding down the outside. That time it bleeds through the defense of Nebraska.
Alec on the slide, dumps it down to Krichkovich. Jaeger. Murray controls. Great dig by Avery Freeman, the true freshman. Sets up another freshman, and Jaeger popped around. Krichkovich, the crafty tap. Harper Murray puts an end to it.
Once again, that back row. She kind of comes out of nowhere. And it's just a 90-mile-an-hour fastball coming right at your face. There's only so much you can do to anticipate Harper Murray from the attacking line.
Feels like when things aren't going well near the net, just go to old reliable, send it to the back row for Murray. Victoria Gray, nice diving dig by Murray. Free ball for Indiana. Krichkovich for Jaeger. Out to the far post, close to the net. Indiana dumps it down. Sets up Landfair. That's in.
And Victoria Gray, she was in position for the block, but Landfair had the vision to just peel that shot to the right of Gray into no man's land. Just a perfectly executed kill by the 6th-year senior Taylor Landfair, who has over 1,500 career kills. She makes plays like that in her sleep. As you see this replay, there's Landfair just going cross court. It's so tough to defend that. And now Nebraska just 3 points away from taking the first set.
Nebraska's hitting .281, Indiana hitting .062. 14 kills for the Huskers to Indiana's 7, and it was a quick start. The energy was bumping in this building, which I would think is maybe 50-50 Indiana-Nebraska right now. But the Huskers have all momentum at the moment.
It's so difficult to go on long scoring runs against Nebraska when they're so stout defensively, when they have so much power behind their outside hitters and middle blockers. It's so difficult to sustain a long run. And Indiana did have the edge in the early part of this first set, but the number one team will do number one team things, and that's weather the storm and swing it back in their favor.
Timeout huddles are being broken. 22-15. Nebraska leads Indiana here in set one. An up-and-coming program in Indiana meets volleyball royalty in Nebraska. Huskers are looking to win the Big Ten title outright tonight. Indiana's looking for its first win over a number one team ever.
And they have a long road to go.
Out of the timeout, Riley will serve for Nebraska. Krichkovich on the dump.
That's great awareness from Krichkovich. The defense of Nebraska, they're expecting a set for an outside hitter. Instead, Krichkovich just does it herself. Sees an opening in the middle and just attacks it with confidence.
Avery Freeman sends it away for Indiana. Adriano now out of the middle, misses wide right. And two straight for Indiana out of the timeout. Little help from the tape as Freeman gets it over. And Adriano ends the Indiana scoring run. And Nebraska's 2 points away from a set one victory.
And Adriano just butted right to the chest of Indiana's middle blockers. And it just dove straight down to the hardwood. Hoosiers had no chance to return that.
Krichkovich to Sell on the slide. Crafty tap, and Maddie Sell earns the kill.
That's a crafty glide ball over the net just to get right past the middle blockers. Good crafty move from the senior.
Maddie Sell, another one of the four seniors being honored tonight for Indiana. Transfer from Mizzou in her second year with the Hoosiers. Riley to the far post for Adriano.
And that time Adriano, she goes right at Krichkovich. Krichkovich had a chance to dig this ball. You see the backward set, and Krichkovich just didn't get low enough to the ground to put it up in the air. And now here it is, Ian, set point.
6 set points for Nebraska. Sell makes it 5. It's a side out for Indiana. 24-19, Nebraska leads in set 1. Jaeger on the serve. Back set for Adriano. And set 1 belongs to Nebraska. 6th kill of the set for Adriano, and the Huskers take a 1-0 lead over the Hoosiers here in Bloomington. Number 1 versus number 17 will continue after the break right here on Big Ten Plus. Nebraska leads 1-0 over Indiana, but Indiana has been a long road to get to this match in a sold-out crowd here at Wilkinson Hall. Steve Aird in charge.
Yes, indeed. Steve Aird, now in his 8th year with Indiana. He's taken over a program that we saw was 1-19 in the Big Ten before he arrived. He's done a great job of recruiting in the Midwest. You see his contract extension a year ago, and he is here to stay in Bloomington, building this program to one of the better teams in the Big Ten Conference. He's coming off a year with the highest rated recruiting class in program history, and he continues to stack on talent year after year. And he said, this is just the beginning. They want to continue to improve year after year. They have the coaching staff to do it, and they have the mindset to compete against anybody in the nation.
Aird said earlier this week that he thinks next year's team will be better than this year's team. The year after that will be better than next year's team, and so on. Efficiency numbers, yep, that about tells the story. Nebraska picked it up as of the later part of this first set, and Indiana was hot early, struggled late.
Yeah, and well, for Nebraska, they allow the second best opponent hitting percentage, which is at 128. So it's very tough to score against Nebraska with the size they have at the net, and Indiana struggling thus far. A hot start early in the first set, but then they cooled off, and Nebraska, they're starting to pile it on now.
Set 2 is underway as Jaeger goes down the line and misses wide left, and Nebraska will start in front. Yeah,
Jaeger trying to turn it down the sideline, squeak it by the outside hitter, just a little too far wide.
Here's Terea Sigler, a true freshman outside hitter from the state of Arizona, and that's an ace for Sigler. Gatorade Player of the Year in Arizona, Max Preps Player of the Year in both her junior and senior years at Horizon High School. Part of another stellar Nebraska recruiting class as Alonso Cortez digs out the serve. Jaeger denied at the net.
And that ball had no chance.
Adriano was there, Alec was there, no surprise.
Yeah, you see Jaeger. He's able to have decent position, but Adriano, she's 6'5", so she towers over the net.
Krichkovich on the slide to Tatum.
And there's Avery Tatum in some space with a loud kill.
Steve Aird has described Tatum as having a world-class arm. She's gotten better in every year that she's been a member of this Indiana team. In the middle, Alec mistimed the jump.
A rare miscue for Nebraska. Just like you said, just mistimed the jump.
Set a little high from Bergen Riley, and it's 3-2 Nebraska. Jaeger sends it over. Alec makes up for the miscue. And Nebraska now leads by 2.
Yeah, Rebecca Alec. A great job. She's a senior from Nebraska. And not only is she number 6 in school history and career blocks, but she has an awful lot of kills as well to her name.
Krichkovich to the far post for Tatum, dug out by Sigler. Bump set from Riley to Murray. Alonzo Cortez deflected at the net. Nebraska controls. Harper Murray tools the block and sends it down for a Nebraska score.
Yeah, that time Maddie Sell, she was in position for a block, but she turned her hands to the left and it angled down to the ground.
5-2 Huskers. Float serve for Mauk. Overpass and Murray. It's kept up by Jaeger. Tatum will try again, and Tatum will succeed again.
And that time Indiana, they were able to recycle their possession. It was blocked at the net, dug out once again, and Indiana was able to recycle offensively and get a cleaner look to Avery Tatum with Nebraska's defense out of position.
Third kill for Tatum in 7 attacks. .429 is the hitting percentage there. Jackson, or Freeman I should say, will send it over. Diving dig by Jaeger. Tatum again. This time wide left.
Tatum, she's like that cross-court angle. It's how I think all of her kills have come tonight, but that time just too far left. And Nebraska wisely lets it go out of bounds.
Adriano thus far, 6 kills, 4 blocks, 2 digs, and at the service line. Free ball for Nebraska. What can the Huskers do? Jackson on the slide, that's what they can do. Works about every time when you have Andy Jackson working on the slide.
Yeah, it was a reverse set to Andy Jackson, a backward set, and Jackson, so much power with her swing. It puts so much pressure on Indiana's defense. Hardly able to react.
Adriano just misses. Too strong on the back line. It was very close.
Yeah, it was. And Indiana, they need to capitalize off of these service errors. When they're given a free point, they need to take 2 more with them to compete in a long set against Nebraska.
Murray the dig. Riley to Jackson. Diving attempt. And unsuccessful.
Yeah, that time the Cornhuskers, that set just too far wide for Andy Jackson. Went over her right arm.
That was Lainey Choboy wearing number 17. Usually wears number 6. Smith keeps it up. Alonzo Cortez. Murray. Cross court. Alonzo Cortez keeps it up. Krejcevich right back to her. And Candela Alonzo Cortez puts an end to the rally.
Well, that's just a beautiful set for Cortez. It's placed right up at the net. The closer to the net, the better of a chance you have. And Cortez makes the defense pay. And that's all because of a service error on Nebraska. Indiana going on this run.
Service ace for Jessica Smith.
And that's Smith's calling card. That's her 21st service ace this year.
Smith provides a different look serving than what Indiana has with most of its players. Overpass and Nebraska controls. Murray.
Yeah,
wide left. That ball flew off her hand.
Harper Murray going for a home run shot. Some frustration behind that swing. And it just goes out of the back line.
Nebraska will challenge as it stands right now. Indiana has regained the lead at 8-7. This challenge could reverse that. Nebraska 1 for 1 on challenges on the evening.
I think they want to challenge once again to see if that was actually in play.
This is a touch call.
So maybe deflected at the net. But nonetheless, Ian, when Nebraska, they had that service ace from Virginia Adriano, and then Indiana, they've gone on a scoring run on their own. It's so important for the Hoosiers. When Nebraska, when they make a rare mistake, Indiana has to be able to respond. And they have so far. Still a long way to go in the second set. Here's the replay. It did not touch Avery Tatum. Or that's Krichkovich rather, but no, it did not touch her hands at the net.
That looks to be clean out of bounds off the hand of Murray.
Harper Murray was trying to turn it near the sideline. Just too much spin.
To your point, Charlie, Indiana is ranked the number 17 team in the country. This is a program off to its best start as the call stands. Nebraska's a different animal, and Steve Baird told us earlier this week, Indiana's going to throw a right hook no matter what. If that right hook works, so be it. If it doesn't, so be it.
Yeah.
But they're going to throw the right hook.
And that's all you can do. You just leave the chips all out on the table. You're all in. This is a group that has never been more together.
Another slide from Jackson. Push shot controlled by the Hoosiers. Alonzo Cortez. That's on the Nebraska side of the net. Another kill for Candela Alonzo Cortez, number 5.
Yeah, and she has to reach double-digit kill numbers for Indiana. She's on her way.
Tight to the net, joust, and Indiana will control. Choboy keeps it up. There's Riley, the crafty dump.
That was beautiful. Bergen Riley, like you said earlier, Big Ten Setter of the Year. And look at that. The awareness, the vision. Indiana's defense expected a set. Instead, Riley does it herself.
Jackson on the dig, bump set from Krichkovich. Alonzo Cortez denied at the net. Jackson was there, Riley was there, and the Nebraska block is rolling.
Cortez was put in a tough spot. That was a long-ranging pass, allowing Nebraska to get in prime position at the net and throw it down to the hardwood.
No tip. Out of bounds. Another Nebraska score, and the Huskers have regained the lead.
Now you have one of the best players in the nation back to serve to add to this lead.
Quick play to Victoria Gray, right back to Indiana's side. Mauk able to keep it up. Landfair blocked at the net. Murray, another diving save by Jackson. Huskers will slow things down. And Landfair with the kill. Misplay by Jaeger on the Indiana side. And Nebraska's up 2.
And that was a long rally, but that was made possible by Olivia Mauk of Nebraska. The pancake diving dig, saving Nebraska's rally. And it's up to Landfair to finish the job, as she's done so many times.
Alonzo Cortez answers right back. Kill number 6 for the senior from Madrid, Spain.
Yeah, it's been the Cortez show. She's gotten going. It's not been easy for her, but she's still putting up numbers.
Indiana looked to tie on that point, but the service error makes it point Nebraska. Huskers up 2 and a side out.
Now Nebraska, they're starting to look better and better, up to a .280 hitting percentage now.
Near post Jaeger. Miscommunication from Nebraska. Rebecca Alec has a big smile on her face. It went right off the forehead.
All you could do is laugh that one off.
That's one thing about this Nebraska team. It has so much fun.
Yes. Every time you see them on the bench in warm-ups, they're always smiling, laughing, dancing to the songs on the PA. They're a free group. They're very comfortable.
Landfair slices through the Indiana defense. It's another kill for the 6th-year senior.
Now she's up to 4 kills now. Virginia Adriano up to 6, Harper Murray up to 6, and Landfair reaching those numbers as well. So well-rounded, this Nebraska offense. Tight
to the net, Krichkovich tries the dump. Mauk is there. Riley to Alec. Rebecca Alec powers it through the Indiana block.
Yeah, Rebecca Alec, she's efficient. When she takes a chance, it usually works.
Alonzo Cortheas mishit wide right. And the Huskers have opened up a 4-point lead, 15-11 here in set 2.
And that time Cortheas came from the back row, something we haven't seen a ton.
15-11 Nebraska. We'll head to a break and be back shortly on Big Ten Plus.
It was the first time seeing her in person play for IU, and now tonight the family is here again in support of their daughter. Guys.
Thank you, Ava. Really, really cool story as play is resumed with a Nebraska score. Alonzo Cortheas from Madrid, Spain, the first Spanish-born player to ever play for Indiana, came into Bloomington without having visited this campus as a freshman. Came in as a 3-rotation opposite, now one of the better outsides in the country. Jaeger on the cross court misses wide, and Nebraska has opened up a 6-point lead.
Cortheas, she's described as unselfish, someone that wants to see everyone around her succeed. Coach Aird said yesterday she's helped so much with these new players over the summer. She's instilled culture. And what's so important is Cortheas, she cares about Indiana so much. She's the longest tenured Hoosier. She has the most kills by an IU player under Coach Aird. And she's seen a lot of ups and downs with this program. She's been a huge reason why Indiana is number 17 in the country.
Indiana called timeout after the mishit from Jaeger to get things organized. It's 17-11 Nebraska, and the Huskers, once they find a sense of momentum, it is hard to stop. The Cornhuskers are hitting .302 on the evening. Indiana 052. Nebraska 24 kills to Indiana 16. The blocks, though, that's the big one. 6 blocks for Nebraska, 1 for Indiana.
Yeah, they just put so much pressure on Indiana defensively. When you have a couple of players that are 6'5", 6'4", there's so much height, so much athleticism with this Nebraska team. There's just not one good way to attack them.
There's a reason Nebraska's 27-0, 17-0 in Big Ten play, and 2 sets away from winning the Big Ten title outright. Packed out crowd here at Wilkinson Hall in Bloomington, Indiana. Number 1 versus number 17. It's been a fun one so far. Ian Plaskoff with you, Charlie Harris as well, Ava Wajenki on the sidelines.
And this next scoring run will determine the second set. If Nebraska comes out on a 3-0 run, this set is over. Indiana has to find a way to claw back in the middle stages of the second set, make it a 2-3-point deficit.
And we have another stoppage. The referee's at the scorer's table. There is a play under review.
Unsure what this review is about.
The last play was the attacking error from Jaden Jaeger that went cross court, missed wide right. So if there's anybody challenging it, it is Indiana.
Jaden Jaeger, she's put to the test tonight, but Coach Aird, he spoke so highly of her. Understanding Coach Aird's coaching staff, they've followed Jaden Jaeger throughout all of her high school years. Ian, Coach Aird knew Jaeger would be a star when she was just 15 years old. And here she is averaging, she's got over 300 kills on the year as a freshman. And here's a replay.
Well, probably a touch call there on Adriana or Alec. That's what Indiana wanted to take a look at.
Here's a great view at it. Really tough to decipher. You got to think this stands as a Nebraska point. There's no clear evidence, but we shall see.
It would either be that or a net violation. You do make an interesting point on Jaeger, and she's been around the coaching staff on this team with their roots in California. played for Coach Rachel Morris, an assistant for Indiana at La Costa Canyon High School in Carlsbad.
And Jane Jaeger, she's described as someone who's fearless and tough. Two traits that you love for a freshman. She came in and has produced right away. Over 300 kills with Indiana this season.
And it looks like we have a ruling. Call stands. Unsuccessful challenge for Indiana. And the score will remain 17-11 Nebraska.
Yeah, there's no conclusive evidence about that touch. So Nebraska's still up 6. This is where the Cornhuskers really start to pull away, is these situations right here.
What a pancake from Bergen. Riley keeps it up. Krichkovich to sell on the slide. This time Mauk is too late for Nebraska. Good recovery by Indiana to get organized and find a way to get a point.
Feels like Indiana has to scratch and claw for every single point. You see Mauk just a little too late for that pancake dig.
And Krichkovich stepped on the line. Those are the unforced errors that Indiana cannot afford.
Yeah, you cannot give Nebraska free points.
Krichkovich will head to the bench, and Indiana will go with another setter in a matter of moments. Sade Ilawole, wearing number 15 in red.
Yeah, she's only appeared in four matches this year.
Sigler will serve for Nebraska. Tatum will try again.
And Indiana's starting to look to get Avery Tatum some looks. A great set by Sade and a good gliding ball by Avery Tatum.
Jaeger will now serve for Indiana, who trails 18-13. That magic number of 20 is approaching quickly. Yep. And there's an ace. Jaeger, off the miss hit from Murray, cuts it to 4.
And this has to be, if Indiana wants to win this second set, this has to be a scoring run to try to even it up at 18. Nebraska can pull away in the blink of an eye.
Mauk saves Alec out of the middle. Indiana keeps it up on the ricochet. Riley to Alec, blocked by Sell. Huskers control. Adriano, what a diving play by Jaeger. Ilawole gets it over, and Alec puts it down. Whew. Oh, man.
I mean, this is the best volleyball in the country we are witnessing. Incredible back and forth. You see Sade just able to get just enough power over the net, but Nebraska in prime position for that kill.
Good save by Sell. Jackson in the middle. Another pop up by Ilawole. Alonzo Cortheas, tip. No, point Nebraska.
Well, she sees the space taken up by the freshman, Virginia Adriano. Cortheas feels like she has to get it over those outstretched arms, but when you take that angle, it flies into the second row.
Looks like Steve Aird is going to pull out the challenge card.
And there's that graphic right there, 78-0 when Nebraska reaches 21st.
Aird was having a long conversation with the referee, decided not to go with the challenge. Alonzo Cortheas gets some momentum back for Indiana. It's 20-15 Nebraska, but Charlie, again, it's that number 20 that's so tough to come back from.
Nebraska have not lost a set when they reach 21st this year. Indiana's competing, they're trying.
Riley to the near post for Adriano. That's kill number 7.
There's so much velocity coming right at your face to to get a clean dig is so difficult. And Adriano, just a freshman, 6'5" freshman.
There's another ace for Adriano.
It's her 8th kill.
Earlier this week, she said, go for it, be your best. When it comes to serving, she did just there. Yeah. And Virginia Adriano has taken over the game for Nebraska. Really fun second set here.
Yeah, and her teammates have really poured into Virginia Adriano. Coming from Italy to a place like Nebraska, that takes a lot to adjust to a new place, new teammates, people you haven't met. And to see her development in the course of a season has been a lot of fun. She's been one of the best players on Nebraska, one of the best players in the country, and she's had quite a night tonight. She's got 2 digs, 4 blocks, and now 7 kills.
The 7 kills, hitting .357, the 4 blocks, as you said, and she's been a real momentum swinger. Now, not a traditional background for a college volleyball player. She played in Italy's top pro league for a couple years in Serie A1. She represented Italy in the U23 national team, won gold at the European Championships in 2023, also the U19 title in 2022.
And you got to think she's going to be that X factor for Nebraska into postseason play. Obviously, you have Harper Murray, you have Bergen Riley, a couple of All-Americans, but to add a freshman who's 6'5" and is just continuing to grow her confidence, she's going to make her mark in the postseason for the Cornhuskers this year. And she's back to serve once again.
Freshly off an ace, Adriano back at the line. This time too strong.
And the Hoosiers not a lot of room to work with. A couple of substitutes. That's Luca Fickle in the contest now.
Indiana's now on its 3rd setter. Also Avery Dahm in the match for the first time, wearing 18 in red. Fickle is at the service line, can provide a bit of a different look, more aggressive server than some of Indiana's typical servers. Jackson near post on the slide. You cannot stop that.
No, you can't. I mean, Andy Jackson just doesn't waste opportunities. She leads the nation in hitting percentage.
It's 5 kills for Jackson on 8 attacks, hitting .500. Jager keeps it alive. It'll be a free ball for the Huskers. Riley. Oh, man.
That was beautiful.
Saw an opening in the middle and went right there.
That is a pretty play from Bergen Riley.
Set point, Nebraska. Alonzo Cortez kept up on the diving dig by Choboy. Landfair puts it down, and Nebraska is 1 set away from winning the Big Ten outright. 25-16, the Huskers dominate set 2. Set 3 coming up shortly after this break. You're watching Indiana versus Nebraska on Big Ten Plus.
Indiana, in the first section of this first set, they took a lead. They were up 4, they were up 5, but then it was the Cornhuskers making their presence felt, Ian.
It was this rally that really turned the tide. A great defensive stop by Indiana to prevent the kill, but Rebecca Alec eliminated all hope, pounding it down to the floor. After that, it was all Huskers. Efficiency continues to be the name of the game for Nebraska, hitting .339, limiting the errors and blocking Indiana at the net, utilizing that height at the net, which Indiana really struggles with.
It's really been Nebraska's defense. You look at Indiana, that hitting percentage, .075. That's just not going to be a recipe for success. And for Nebraska, they've gotten better and better as this match has progressed offensively. And you see the 6 blocks right there. Their presence is just felt every single possession.
As the third set is just about to be underway, we'll take a look at Andy Jackson, one of the best players in the country, and she's been all over the place tonight.
Yeah, she has. Andy Jackson up to 5 kills, a 500 hit percentage, and 3 blocks to go along with it. She's been all over the hardwoods tonight. One of several Huskers to produce. And she's not done yet.
Fans are on their feet, they're clapping, and they're ready for the third set to be underway as Indiana and Nebraska make their way out of the tunnel. Charlie, first impressions through these first 2 sets of this atmosphere at Wilkinson Hall. In my opinion, this is as good as it has been.
It's been incredible. I mean, fans getting here 2 hours before the match, tailgating at 10 in the morning with an RV in the parking lot. It's been an atmosphere that I've never been a part of. And that's the brand of Nebraska volleyball. When they come, they roll out the red carpet. And it's been a fun, loud atmosphere at Wilkinson Hall. And still another set or 2 or 3 to go.
It's the brand of Nebraska volleyball, but Indiana is no slouch either. 8-1 at Wilkinson Hall this year. One of the best home court advantages in all of the Big Ten.
Yeah, they don't lose very often at home. They have that belief in front of their home team, in front of this crowd that's represented so well over the last couple of years. Attendance at Wilkinson Hall continues to climb year after year, and it helps with this volleyball team seeing this fan base behind them every single year.
This match was sold out in mid-September. The anticipation's been high. Indiana and Nebraska 1 versus 17. The Huskers are a set away from winning the Big Ten title outright. They're 27-0 on the season, 17-0 in Big Ten play. Indiana is 22-5 on the year, 13-4 in Big Ten play. These are 2 of the best teams in the best volleyball conference in the country. Nebraska leads 2-0 as set 3 is underway with a serve from Krichkovic. Sell pops it up for Jaeger. And that block continues to be active for Nebraska.
That time Virginia Adriano again taking up all the space in the world. And Jaeger just no chance to get it past Adriano, the opposite hitter.
Sell in the middle. And there is no chance to get that through the forearms of Jackson and Adriano.
It's a block party. It's every single time.
That's 8 blocks for Nebraska tonight. Floater serve from Malk. Krichkovic finds Sell out of the middle.
There's Maddie Sell. She's been a tad bit quiet. That's her 5th kill. And just powering that through the middle.
It's a side out for Indiana, much needed for the Hoosiers as Jaeger's at the service line. Quick play to Jackson, and Jaeger got fingertips on it. That's a kill for Andy Jackson.
Yeah, Nebraska, they're continuing to get stronger and stronger as this match progresses. And there's Andy Jackson, just so tough to get a read on it.
Adriano back at the line. 7 kills, 6 blocks for Adriano tonight. And a service ace to go with it. Tatum dug out by Malk, play at the net. And that'll be a point for Indiana. Looked like Riley got a hand in the net or maybe some kind of double hit. It was pretty chaotic down there.
Yes, it was. And keeps it a 1-point deficit. Indiana will look to give it everything they have in this third set, trying to avoid a sweep at home on senior night.
Murray the tap. Kept up by Alonzo Corthe as Tatum plays it short. There's Choboy. And there's Jackson to send it down.
Jackson using those quick hands. Just a quick swipe. She didn't charge up a ton. Just kind of swipes it with the right arm and just grazes past the defense for the point.
2-point lead for the Huskers. Murray to serve. Tatum Kept up by Malk. Riley out to Murray out of the back row and misses strong.
Oh my goodness. Get out of the way. Harper Murray from that back row is a lot of fun to watch. When she loads up, builds up that momentum, you better just get out of the way because it is tough to dig anything out from her.
And it looks like there's a challenge on the floor. Quite a few challenges. Nebraska has won all of them.
Yes, they have.
Steve Aird is 0 for 1. Danny Busboom Kelly is 2 for 2.
And I think it's the third time we've seen a challenge on a Harper Murray attack attempt. Let's see if it was a touch call at the nets. It could have hit Victoria Gray's right hand.
The question may be on Krichkovich in the back row. Looked like it cleared Gray's arms off to the right. We'll get another look.
That ball has so much speed on it, you can barely get a look at the volleyball. It's coming over the net so fast.
And there was a touch on Indiana as Harper Murray has a big smile on her face. Another kill for Murray. That's number 7. She'll be at the service line with Nebraska leading 5-2. Make that 5-3.
And in the second set, there was a service error by Virginia Adriano. Indiana then went on a 4-0 scoring run. Now with Indiana down 2, they have an opportunity to capitalize on that Nebraska mistake.
Smith at the line for Indiana, trying to make this a 1-point game. Land fair off the block, Indiana controls. Alonso Corthea stuffed, contact on the net, and that will be a Nebraska score.
And Indiana they were gonna have a second chance opportunity there, but violation stalls.
Far post, Alonso Cortheas on a beautiful set from Krichkovich.
Yes, Krichkovich put it right in her wheelhouse. Charged up the right arm and let it fly. Yep, she found daylight right between Nebraska's defense. Split the middle.
Murray, top spin hit, floats it down in the middle of Indiana's defense.
When you see Harper Murray creeping in through the back row, Indiana's defense, they're expecting a powerful strike, so they kind of back up a couple feet. Instead, Murray puts great touch on that kill attempt.
7-4 Nebraska leads as Krichkovich goes to Jager. Alec in the middle, diving save by Jackson for Indiana, and Jager puts it down.
And that's another great set up for Jager. She got up in the air, timed the jump perfectly, and just throws it right down. Cross-court kill.
Here's Charlotte Vinson at the service line. Fascinating story for the freshman. She was the number 25 overall recruit in the 2024 recruiting class, and was on life support in May of 2024, overcame toxic shock syndrome, was battling sepsis in her body, and made the full comeback and starting to find her footing at Indiana.
That's unbelievable, the strength of her.
Vincent, a product of Yorktown High School in Yorktown, Indiana. Alonso Cortheas kept up by Sigler. Near post for Murray. No tip, it's point Indiana.
Now Avery Tatum will check into the contest for the Hoosiers. It's been teetering around a 2-point deficit this entire third set. Nebraska hasn't pulled away quite yet.
Riley to the far post for Adriano. That's been the bread and butter for Nebraska tonight.
I don't think anyone in the country is stopping that attack attempt from Adriano. That's her 8th kill, hitting .375 on the evening.
Mauk, with the help of the tape, gets it over. Now to Jaeger. That was touched by a couple Nebraska fingertips. Point Indiana.
Yeah, it did seem like it was deflected at the net, and it was. So here's another 2-point deficit for the Hoosiers. Still in striking distance.
Indiana must win this set to stay alive. Nebraska leading 2-0. Back set for Adriano.
Oh, like clockwork. She is unstoppable. It just bleeds through the entire defense. So much power from the 6'5" freshman.
Adriano always has a smile on her face. That's what she prioritizes, being happy all the time. But her smile is shining extra bright tonight. Alonso Cortez, it's kept up by Sigler. Jackson on the far post. Alonso Cortez says no.
Yeah, that was blocked by Cortez. Andy Jackson tried for a very much a downward action and just played it too far down as it went into the net.
Indiana trails by 2. Freeman on the serve. Showboy gets down for the dig. Block from Tatum. Murray again. And Murray capitalizes for her 9th kill of the evening.
And Harper Murray just stays with it. Able to get a deflection from the Indiana back row.
Back set from Krichkovich finds Tatum. Mauk is right there. Sigler. Easy play for Jaeger. Deflection, it's down anyways. Tatum has been a little quiet tonight. That's kill number 5 on 16 attacks.
Yeah.
But a big one there. It's a 2-point game.
She has been quiet. That's been big for Nebraska to keep her out of the contest, limit her production. She's a big part of Indiana's offensive attack.
Smith on the serve. Riley goes to the near post for Sigler. Wide left, and Indiana's within 1.
Nebraska, they're just trying to pull away, but Indiana not letting up, just staying with it, point by point. Now a chance to tie it up.
Andy Jackson tools the block once again. That slide play has been unstoppable.
Yeah, it was right near the sideline. Victoria Gray late to cover the nets, and it's deflected out of bounds. Andy Jackson now 7 kills.
And now an ace. Miss hit on the Indiana side. Off the serve from Jackson, and her stellar night continues.
3 Huskers in double-digit kill territory, nearing it.
And a service error. That's number 7 for the Huskers tonight.
Yeah, Virginia Adriano with 9 kills, Harper Murray with 9, and Andy Jackson with 8.
It's a side out for Indiana, puts Alonso Cortez at the line. Tight to the net, Riley finds Alec on the slide, and just about a foot too strong off the back line.
The Hoosiers an opportunity again. As we move through the middle stages of this 3rd set, Indiana has still kept on the gas.
Harper Murray! Oh my goodness!
Yeah, she's nearly unstoppable when she flies in from that back row. Just threads it right through the middle with a ton of strength.
One of the best arms in the country. Jaeger answers right back.
Yes, indeed, a great answer, because at this stage of the 3rd set, you almost feel like Nebraska is just waiting on a moment to go on a big scoring run, but Indiana's been there to answer.
Here's Vinson to serve. It's been a rough night for her. 2 service errors. She'll try another high top spin. Ooh. Sigler finds the floor. Terea Sigler, the kill, puts Nebraska at 15. The Huskers up 15-13. We'll take a short break and be back on Big Ten Plus. Nebraska's had as successful of a season as you can have through 27 matches, 27-0. They're 10 points away from winning the Big Ten outright, but Ava, they have their eyes set on more. Well, we'll visit Ava in a moment. Plays back and about to be underway. 15-13 Nebraska leads. On the overpass, Alec puts it down. And the Huskers up 16-13.
Yep, after that timeout break, after the 15th point, this is where Nebraska, they've been so dominant at this stage of the set, pulling away, getting into the red zone. It's up to Indiana to respond.
Jaeger tools the block.
She's had a negative hitting percentage tonight. Kills have been hard to come by Jaden Jaeger, but she connects that time for a much-needed point to keep it within 2.
Krichkovich the ace. Teodora Krichkovich, the freshman setter for Indiana, pulls the Hoosiers within 1 and brings the energy.
And she's been really good at serving. 31st service ace on the year.
There's another one. Back-to-back aces for Krichkovich, tied at 16.
Yep. Just a freshman. Steve Aird said it was a long recruiting process for Krichkovich.
Murray able to handle this time, and Alec off the quick set from Bergen Riley gives Nebraska the lead.
Indiana in this third set, they've continued to battle.
Jaeger! Oh, the freshman powers it home.
That sounded like a gunshot. You could hear that smack from a mile away.
Even at 17.
It was a mean kill.
Riley pops it up to Harper Murray. Indiana block, sends it right back to the Huskers. Here's Murray again. On the tap, Krichkovich pops it up. And Jackson tools the Indiana block. Wild rally ends in a Jackson kill, and the Huskers regain a 1-point lead.
Indiana's been there to respond.
Choboy the ace.
Oh, wow.
Drops it right in the middle of Indiana's defense, and Nebraska takes a 2-point lead. Now we'll talk to Ava. Nebraska is looking further down the road.
Yeah, Ian, Nebraska came in today not only looking to continue with the success that this season has brought for them, but to also clinch the Big Ten title outright. But that's not the only thing that this team has had their focus on. Most teams would celebrate after clinching a championship, but that was not Nebraska after Iowa on Thursday. Instead, they're focused on the forward to finish the regular season, then dominate in the post. Head coach Danny Bosom Kelly said, quote, "They are fired up to win a share of the title, but this team has much bigger goals." And from the jump this season for Nebraska, it's been a national championship or bust. Ian?
Thank you, Ava. Nebraska has hit that all-important number of 20. Timeout on the floor. We'll take a look at the RPI. The Big Ten is always considered the best volleyball conference in the country. This is part of the reason why.
And there's a You see Indiana holding it down there, but it's Nebraska. It is the Huskers. They are undefeated. This is probably the best Nebraska team we've seen in several years. They are hunting for their first championship since 2017. And we said it earlier in the broadcast, this is the roster to do it. They have the height to do it. They have the coach to do it. And they're looking to win the Big Ten title in just a couple more points.
It's 20-17 Nebraska at the moment. Indiana is also looking to host in the opening rounds of the NCAA tournament for the first time in a while. As you take a look at the Hoosiers' schedule to close Illinois and at Purdue, it's not much of a tougher choice to end with than in West Lafayette. Rivalry game. Purdue already has a win over Indiana this year. Choboy the serve as we're back in play. Tatum off the Nebraska block and out for an Indiana score.
Well, Nebraska is in that red zone first. They have not lost a set when they reach 20 before their opponent, but Hoosiers only down 2. They've been in this territory this entire third set.
Murray the push shot. Sneaks it inside the back line, and the Huskers are 4 points away. This is the final road test for Nebraska. 2 matches at home to finish out the season. Penn State and Ohio State ahead of the tournament. Murray the serve. Jackson controls for Indiana. Near post for Tatum. Avery Tatum starting to wake up.
Yes, she is. It's her 7th kill. .222 hitting percentage for her night. But is it enough? Will it be enough to avoid the sweep? This point is huge.
Smith on the serve and sails it long. Crucial error on the service line for Indiana, and the Huskers are 3 points away.
That could be the nail in the coffin. Nebraska just 3 points away now. The Hoosiers need 6.
Overpass. Jaeger able to save the day. Alonso Cortheas off the Nebraska block. Diving stop by Sigler. It's still up. Krichkovich.
Oh my.
Sees an opening.
It was just seesawing around the net. And finally Krichkovich finds the opening on the hardwood. Harper Murray just too late for the pancake dig.
First time Indiana has reached 20 tonight. Riley to Murray out of the back row. It's kept up by Indiana, but the overpass is followed through by Terea Sigler.
And you could see the initial bench reaction from Indiana when they dug out that Harper Murray attack attempt. It felt huge because she's been so dominant from the back row, but Nebraska's still able to record the points. Now just 2 away from the sweep.
Huskers lead 23-20 over Indiana. Number 1 versus number 17. Nebraska 2 points away from winning the Big Ten title outright.
Yeah, and they've been dominant tonight. .333 hitting percentage, 8 blocks as a team. 2 here in this third set. They've just produced first set, second set, third set. They've been consistent with their defensive pressure. And you see Indiana.
Here we'll take a look at the Big Ten Player of the Year race. Couple of Huskers in there. You can throw a few others into the mix if you want to, because it would be much deserved. Throw Murray in there, throw Adriano at this point tonight in there. This whole Nebraska roster could make a case for Big Ten Player of the Year, but Riley and Jackson lead the chart.
Yeah, a team full of Big Ten first, second, and third teamers. Plenty of candidates for Player of the Year. And with a first-year head coach, it's been really impressive to be undefeated this late in the season. 23-20, Nebraska leads out of the break. The Huskers 2 points away
from an outright Big Ten title.
Does Indiana have one more stand?
Riley will send it away. Jaeger blocked at the net, back to Indiana. Alonso Cortez, that's in.
And that's her 9th kill tonight. No bigger kill than to keep it a 2-point deficit this late in the 3rd set. A crucial point.
Here's the freshman, Charlotte Vincent, at the service line. Murray right there on the dig. Alec on the slide. That's out. Wide right. Oh, check that. Deflection, and that's going to be a challenge from Steve Eyre.
A huge challenge. It was hugging the sideline the entire way. A Hoosier could have deflected it at the net. This is a huge challenge for the Hoosiers' hopes.
This could turn the tide of the match. Here's another look.
Does it hit Jaeger in her left arm? Looks like it avoids Jaden Jaeger.
It was hard to tell with Jaeger's body in the way if that ball was hugging the white line. We'll get another look.
Here's the better one. Looks like it avoids Jaeger. And then from there, also tough to tell. Here we go.
Call stands.
All right.
Nebraska serve. Terea Sigler will send it away. Match point for the Huskers, looking to win the Big Ten outright. 27-0 on the season. 17-0 in Big Ten play. Looking for one more accolade. That's down. Off the block from Alec. And Indiana stays alive. Alonso Cortez on the kill.
Hanging by a thread. And who better than Cortez?
Nobody's stopping Nebraska. The Huskers win the Big Ten outright. (28-0). 18-0 in Big Ten play. And the Nebraska Cornhuskers don't have to share any Big Ten title. They have it all to themselves.
They sure do, and they were dominant tonight. This was a big test on the road against a fast-paced team like Indiana, but no, it does not matter. They do it in 3, as they've done all season long, except for the UCLA match. Nebraska continues to just be absolutely dominant. There's the head coach, the leader of it all, Danny Butzboom Kelly.
Year 1 as head coach at Nebraska, 1 outright Big Ten title. Can't ask for a better start than that.
Your team took the Big Ten title outright. What does that mean for this group?
Yeah, it's a big accomplishment. It's one of the main goals that we had, and it's really good to be able to get this. Well, I think we struggled a little bit in this game, and maybe we weren't really expecting it. It's like a great atmosphere, and people here are very loud. So it was for sure hard, and I'm glad that we were able to close it in 3. And yeah, it was a great accomplishment.
You mentioned the struggle, and at the end there, it got close. What did you guys do and communicate to pull through that?
I mean, we try to, I know it's like basic to say, but we try to always, when we struggle, to go back to what we practice for, because it's like we train for it, and we train to also be prepared when we struggle and to come out of it. And we try to like rely on each other and give each other confidence to come out of from those moments. And I think that's what we did, and we tried to do that, and it worked.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Ava. Adriano, 9 kills, 6 blocks, 2 digs.